Hello there, and welcome to the Average Pundits podcast, where we talk about everything Premier League related. And we're back after our extended Christmas break.
Long sabbatical.
Due to exams. It's been a stressful time, but we have returned. We're back, and we're back with a bang.
Back as always. Vengeance.
As always, I'm joined by Mr. Joseph Brody.
Hiya, mate.
And returning special guest, Al Forsyth.
How we doing, mate? All right.
He's the ladies' man. He's back.
he's back in the cut.
Right then. So, how are we feeling being back in the studio? It's been quite a while.
Yeah, it's good. It's good. It has been a long time since we hit the mic, so it's interesting to get back in the mix. See what we can come up with.
Get back and create some of the content.
Yeah.
So, I reckon we should round up this week's Premier League action.
Yeah, go on,
and sort of recap where everyone is since we last spoke about it.
Yeah.
So, let's talk about the first game. Very surprising, this one. Isaac Hayden, last minute winner against Chelsea.
Yeah.
Newcastle defeating the Blues.
It's weird, isn't it, with Chelsea at the moment? Like they're obviously up there, obviously competing for that top 4 spot, but it's these little weird results they keep picking up. It's just really strange. Like the 1 minute you're like, oh yeah, they're really convincing. The next minute they're just gone.
They are inconsistent.
Extremely inconsistent. Like they it's not even if they played a bad team either. Like they had quite a very good team. It's just that Martin Dubravka he's amazing.
He is actually phenomenal. He's been goalkeeper of the season so far.
Yeah.
At the moment, he is worthy of being in the Premier League team of the season. I can safely say that now.
I would say that as well. Newcastle are staying up, and he's a massive reason for that.
Absolutely, not because of their goal scoring chances. It's because they're able to keep clean sheets like they did against Chelsea. It's like it's not even if Chelsea didn't have a lot of shots.
No.
They had about 20 shots, and I think maybe a quarter of those were on target. But still, Dubravka was able to keep them from scoring.
It's good to see. I mean, it'd be good for Newcastle to try and keep him, because obviously you start doing these kind of things and people are going to start asking questions at some point. They're going to be like, oh, maybe he's available.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I reckon he might be shipped off at the end of the season. Well, not shipped off, but like
picked up from someone.
Someone's going to be knocking on Newcastle's door at the end of the season, and I don't know if they're going to want to let him go, if I'm honest.
No. Be interesting to see.
With Ashley loves the deal, doesn't he?
He does.
He can get some money sort of out of a player, so I could see him probably end up going, but issue is that he's not great with his feet, is he?
No.
He is just an out-and-out shot stopper.
He's not a top 4 keeper like a lot of the top teams, like goalkeepers that can use their feet. Edison, Alisson, Kepa can use his feet a bit. I'm not sure about Bernd Leno, but
50-50, mate. There's a couple of games where he's unreal, and then he will just literally give the ball to the striker.
I was preaching for Liverpool to sign Leno for quite a while, and I think that was while he was at his best, and Arsenal signed him just as he was hitting his decline. So
I feel like he no, I say decline. I just feel like he's just a bit a bit inconsistent. I feel like if he has that back 4 around him, you wouldn't notice it.
He's out of his depth a bit, but I think we move on to the next game. West Ham and Everton drawing at the London Stadium.
Yeah, pretty average really. I mean, not too much kicking about. I mean, West Ham again and Everton, both two teams, just pretty underwhelming.
I mean, two new managers coming to the league, David Moyes and Carlo Ancelotti.
Can we talk about Ancelotti going to Everton? I think that is still obscene.
I was going to say, I don't think you weren't on the last one, were you?
No.
Oh, you were.
No, for the last one.
The last one. Yeah.
But like, it was crazy. I mean, what an acquisition.
Yeah, he's been amazing so far, hasn't he? Wasn't it? Like in his first 14 points, he got 13 out of like available. So yeah, it was unreal from him. To be fair, like it's difficult because I think Everton's problems lie deeper than a manager.
Yeah,
but he will turn their form around instantly, sort of thing.
Yeah, I mean, someone of his caliber, he's got to have something up his sleeve. Yeah.
I mean, David Moyes has also come in and turned their fortunes around. This probably wouldn't have been a game that West Ham would have had much chance in if it wasn't for David Moyes.
I think a lot of West Ham fans were probably extremely frustrated by his reappointment. I don't think that was what they were after at all. I mean, Pellegrini clearly he wasn't making it work there, but at the end of the day, he's still a manager with an extremely high profile who ended up leaving. It's crazy. It's like who do you get to replace a Premier League winner?
Yeah, that's true. I mean, Moyes is coming in and doing a better job than Pellegrini, if we're honest.
Yeah, he is.
So,
is it a short-term appointment, or has he actually got more than until the rest of the season?
I think it's a short-term for now, and then they're gonna see how he's doing.
I don't really mind that though, because like West Ham were in trouble and still are in trouble of getting relegated.
Yeah.
And so if it's not working with Pellegrini, you've got to think like you need to stay up. So why not just appoint one of these sort of managers like an Allardyce or a Moyes or something like that?
And just a season.
Get you through to the season and then just rebuild.
Yeah. I mean, he's instilled a passion for playing again in Felipe Anderson. Like, he hadn't scored in quite some time, and then David Moyes' first game back, he scores. I'm pretty sure it was quoted that he said, "You're Brazilian and Brazilians score, so go and score." So
what a quote!
Exactly.
Brilliant.
It's I mean, it worked.
I wish someone would tell that to Andres Pereira and Fred. I really do wish someone would tell them that. But, whatever.
Bobby Firmino's already picked that up, so it's fine. Martinelli's also picking that up as well. Slowly. He's only young.
What was the next game, Reece?
We have got a very narrow win, a comeback win, I believe, for Wolves against Southampton at St Mary's. Again, Wolves, very strange.
Strange
It's just
side.
Adama, isn't it? It's the Adama show.
It is.
I've actually over the last 2 weeks, I've just fallen in love with Adama. He's just fantastic. Like, to watch him play, he's the most fun player to watch in the Premier League.
Yeah, 100%.
He is extremely entertaining.
He's built like a rugby player. He's built perfectly for rugby, but he plays football and knocks down Benjamin Mendy whenever he gets a chance. It's fantastic.
That video is phenomenal.
It's just his pace. It's like, because he comes up against fullbacks who are like rapid by themselves.
Yeah.
And just embarrasses them every time. I can't work it out. Like, come up against Kolasinac, and Kolasinac is quick, and literally couldn't get near him.
Yeah.
Like,
Adama's just he's a phenomenal player.
Just running rings around
his end product is coming now. It's scary. It's very scary.
Yeah.
And whether Wolves can keep him, who knows? But I reckon we've got a chance to see the future star on our hands here. He's still only 22, 23.
I think Wolves are probably going to get European football again. They're probably going to end up in the Europa League. So
exactly with Pedro Neto again. Like, he's coming through the ranks. He scored one of their comeback goals. If they can keep Raul Jimenez, who has scored more goals than Cristiano Ronaldo in 2019, one of the better strikers in the world. Netting to come back. So Wolves have always had a strong shot. I'm going to continue to say this. They've got a couple transfer windows before they're in the Champions League. Yeah, no doubt. Next game, not really much to talk about. Timu Pukki scoring the only goal against Bournemouth. It was a penalty.
Bournemouth are in trouble. Yeah, Bournemouth are in trouble right now.
Eddie Howe needs to turn it around.
I don't know what it's going to take. I mean, there are players at Bournemouth which can really be salvaged as well. They have so many good players that it's just kind of like, are they all going to jump ship? Because at the moment it looks like Bournemouth are going down.
Yeah, I think there are a couple of players that would be picked up. Like, you got Harry Wilson there,
Fraser,
Callum Wilson as well.
I think Nathan Ake is a good player.
Ake would definitely be rescued. Aaron Ramsdale as well. I'm not sure he would stay. I think he might ship off as well.
Jefferson Lerma as well.
Brooks,
absolutely.
Brooks, he's good.
Yeah, Brooks
I think Dominic Solanke should go down with them because he's not Premier League football quality at all.
He's not.
He is poor. I'm so glad we got rid of him for 20 million.
What a deal that was, isn't it?
We've phenomenal.
Free,
we robbed Bournemouth.
Just a quick shout out to the Liverpool transfer board there for that absolute madness.
We're able to just ship off,
just robbery.
Absolute, nonsense. We shipped Benteke back for 30 million.
You had no business doing that. You had no business doing that at all.
Just Crystal Palace, innit?
Coutinho for 145, wasn't it?
Yeah, we shipped him in for 8 million. Again, it was crazy.
Phenomenal. Coutinho's a great player, but he's nowhere near worth that money.
I know he's playing. I mean, he's playing well for Bayern Munich at the minute, but Bundesliga is nowhere near.
I'd put like 60 million cap on him.
Yeah. Speaking of Crystal Palace buying Benteke, they masterfully drew against Manchester City. What a game that was! I'm so happy. It puts us 16 points ahead at the top of the table.
I mean, the league's gone now. It's done. It's finished. I mean, and it's a shame. I mean, I think everyone's come to terms with it. It doesn't make it any easier, but obviously Manchester City were the only team really who you thought were going to catch up with them, and it just hasn't happened. Like, City are a team full of holes, and it's coming through now. I mean, great players, but they They were the champions last season, and they're still up there. They're still doing amazing in the league, really, but they've just had so many dodgy little scrapes.
I think that the fact that they've lost a massive character in Vincent Kompany has affected them greatly. Like a lot of the times, you can just get away with playing with fantastic players and everything like that, but when you've got the players in the locker room that have that prowess, like Vincent Kompany,
I do wonder who the leader is in that team. Like, because genuinely, like, even if Vincent Kompany wasn't playing for much of it.
Who's the captain?
Silver, isn't it?
Is it David Silva? I mean, having David Silva there, he's going to help all the young players gel. Like, Phil Foden's coming into his own, but like having Vincent Kompany and David Silva there is something that you have to listen to both of those.
It was
commanding.
It was only the other day we were talking about Foden, wasn't it? We were like, mate, he should probably. I reckon he should move. He should move on. Yeah.
Wait, he can't get in the team. Like, you think this is David Silva's last season?
Yeah.
And yet he's playing every minute, game in, game out. And it's like, well, where's your planning for the future? Because Phil Foden's got virtually no minutes.
Yeah.
Like,
and when he has, he's scored.
Yeah, he's a fantastic player, but you need to actually give him experience. Otherwise, when he comes and takes David Silva's role, he's going to be terrible. And then they'll end up forking out another 80 million buying a Phil Foden.
There are players his age which are currently doing what he should be doing. Must be frustrating. Yeah.
Mason Greenwood's coming off the bench and scoring loads of goals for Manchester United. There's quite a few young players. Like Kai Havertz is around the same age, and he's fantastic for Leverkusen.
But I mean, for Palace though, it was a great little result for them.
Yeah. Tosun, scoring the sort of the fire to.
That's a loan deal, isn't it, from Everton?
Check Tosun, the new January signing. More January signings that we'll be talking about later on in the podcast.
Yeah.
And also Fernandinho, it just very unfortunate own goal for him.
Yeah, it was unfortunate.
But yeah, I mean, overall great result for Palace. They drawing with the defending champions. Another game to talk about: Brighton and Aston Villa drawing 1-1.
Yeah, I think Villa are in trouble.
They
really are. So obviously we'll talk about their signings a bit later on, but you can just tell on the pitch they need reinforcements.
Oh, absolutely,
100%.
Everything goes through Jack Grealish all the time. Like, if you can just get someone to stop him playing, then Villa cannot do anything.
Yeah, Grealish is the best player.
If you play a game then you have someone man marking him. Like, I always like, if I'm talking about man marking, I think under Herrera back in the past when he was man marking Hazard for the games against Chelsea.
Yeah,
I genuinely think that's still one of the most impressive performances from him, because he had a direct role and he did it the entire game.
Yeah.
If you do that to a target man in the team, and then it's a problem, isn't it? Like, if you do that to Grealish, then what have they got?
Yeah, like you say, if they come against Chelsea, like you put Kante on Grealish, he's not going anywhere.
But then again, though, this is the 100 million Villa. I mean, this is the team which did spend 100 million on their appointment back to the Premier League.
Yeah,
and you struggle to see where the money's gone.
I think they just need a better manager. If I'm honest, they do really need a better manager, more reinforcements, a lot of time to improve. Like they need someone to be bought in this transfer window, and it's just not happened yet. But yeah, Trossard and Grealish the scorers in that game. Moving on to the next game, one that Al might be able to talk about in length. Sheffield United scraping through a draw with Arsenal.
Yeah, it was
at the Emirates.
Dropped. It really was. We dropped 2 points there. We should have beat them. I think it's looking really good with Arteta, but the results just aren't there at the moment. We're just being a bit unlucky. We really aren't killing games off. That's the big thing. Like, Lacazette hasn't scored in ages. Looking a bit short of confidence. Pepe's picked up.
Yeah.
But, I'm not really looking forward to tomorrow.
I mean, going on to talk about January transfers later, Arsenal's going to be a massive topic, I can tell, because their whole back four needs to go. Like, starting a young lad like Maitland-Niles on the right and Saka on the left with two very experienced but really, really poor centre-backs is not the way for them to learn.
It's an odd setup, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah. I think you have to think that, like, Saka's never going to be a fullback.
Yeah.
He's a winger.
He's a left winger.
He's a very good winger. And then also, Maitland-Niles always bangs on that he wants to play centre mid. I think he should look to try and play right back because he actually will get minutes there.
Yeah.
He's not going to play in Arsenal's midfield.
Mm.
But yeah, so it is difficult. And then, like you said, when you're playing with alongside like Socrates and David Luiz, two like poor, mistake-prone players, it's not the way to learn.
No,
absolutely not. And then, like you say, Lacazette is not really in form. He had to come off 74 minutes in for Nikita, who's also a very young, promising player. Who I mean,
and they recalled him, didn't they, from the loan? Which is again, he was looking really good in their pre-season. But I mean, I think the loan for him, sending him off, it kind of shocked me. I thought I'd see a bit more of him in the Arsenal side, but them recalling him back, that's maybe a bit of a worrying sign.
It's basically like Arsenal's best position is striker. If you're like a youth player coming through, you can't play up front because it's Lacazette and Aubameyang. So we sent him out to Leeds, and like Bielsa was really weird because like he kept bringing him on every time for the last 20 minutes or half an hour.
Yeah,
and he kept scoring. He literally, I think it's his first 4 games, he scored 4 goals.
Yeah,
couldn't get a start. Bielsa just wouldn't start him, and then he got an ankle injury, and then Bielsa just didn't play him.
Yeah,
so we recalled him. I think the surprising thing for me is it's come out that we're going to keep him.
Yeah,
like that to me, I was like, well, Arteta says he really likes what he sees in training, so maybe he's going to get more minutes.
Yeah,
but I still thought like loaning him down to like a Villa or even back to the Championship, I thought was probably the
only real thing to do.
Yeah, I mean, giving him more minutes and then also in training under tutelage of what striker to learn under Aubameyang.
Yeah, that's
like
true.
He's a fantastic striker for him to learn off, like a pacey winger, to get behind the defences. So again, we'll talk about Arsenal's transfer windows in the coming moments. So we move on to the other North London team, Tottenham Hotspur, sort of a London-ish derby versus Watford. Nothing really to talk about. Watford were able to hold Spurs to a draw.
So that
very
close.
boring.
That goal line
thing.
What on earth? That's crazy, isn't it?
Yeah. The funny thing is, literally, Ismaili Sarr got injured about 5 minutes before and had to be taken off.
Yeah.
And it was the winger who they brought on, who was literally new to the club.
Yeah.
That's what he did for his first game. Stop one off the line.
Yeah.
Literally like going down in folklore. And then
Dini
missed a penalty as well, which was a bit annoying. Like
Spurs could have been put away easily.
Yeah.
Spurs could have definitely been put.
Again, Watford just a team again. No bite to him.
When's the estimated return of Lloris coming?
He's back in training now. He's meant to play.
So his comeback's on the horizon, basically.
I think Gazaniga's done a credit though. He's done good.
He does pull out some very world class saves, but like again, I think Tottenham might be a big one to talk about in the January transfer window. Like they're in the market for a new midfielder potentially if Christian Eriksen's gone. So moving on to Sunday's games. We'll leave the biggest game till last, but another big game for Liverpool's title chase was Burnley beating Leicester 2-1.
Leicester, mate. What are you playing at?
Yeah, it wasn't a good game.
Chris Wood and Westwood scoring, and then Barnes trying to. Well, actually no, Barnes gave Leicester the lead, but. Nick Pope's just a very good keeper. I think he might be one to take to the Euros, I reckon.
Is he? I mean, again, how many times have we had this debate? I mean, Nick Pope, you reckon he's England number 1, don't you?
I think he should play ahead of Pickford. Pickford's not a good shot stopper. Like distribution's great, but at the end of the day, like you need someone who's gonna actually like save shots and be able to come take crosses and stuff like that.
Yeah, Pope and Henderson. That's your money.
Pope, Henderson, and. Maybe Heaton. Maybe take Heaton because he's a good keeper.
He's out for the season, isn't he?
Oh, is he? Oh, I didn't know that. Oh, that's I guess bringing in Pepe Reina for Villa is a very strong deal. And the final game of the weekend, a game that caused a bit of tension here. Liverpool defeating Manchester United 2-0, and by God, it could have been 4.
It could have been 7.
It could have been. If we'd have put away our chances, and if De Gea wasn't a big wuss, that goal should have stood. Let's be honest.
Yeah, it probably should have done it.
Even Gary. To be fair, I'm surprised Gary Neville.
No, Neville calls it like he sees it. He's not. Yeah. I think same with Carragher. To be fair, like, I don't think either of those two are going to get there. Obviously, they are massively biased towards their own clubs, but they're not gonna jeopardise their credibility. They're going to call it.
I mean, did you see the video of their reactions as they were calling the game?
Yeah, Neville was absolutely fuming with that Marchand, and too right as well. Like, you need to be burying that. You need to be burying that.
Well,
it was just worrying for United again. It just highlighted all of the problems with the team. Rashford's out, Pogba's out, McTominay's out, and those are our 3 most important players so far this season. So what else have we got?
And it highlighted a very good game. Well, the only good player for Manchester United on that pitch was Fred. That was the only good player, and he was the one that was creating chances for Martial, and Martial was just not finishing them. Like
the Liverpool front three were playing some absolutely phenomenal passes in the final third. They were playing some brilliant passes.
We just couldn't. We just couldn't put them away. Like we were peppering. Like there was the Mane chance, De Gea's fantastic save.
Yeah.
It's we just couldn't score.
I feel like if I was one of the United elites, I would be going to the manager with questions. I'd be saying like, look, this something needs to change now. It needs to change.
I really don't think it's the fault of the manager at this point.
Yeah.
I think he needs time. I think there has been five different managers at Manchester United since Fergie left. Am I right?
You've had Moyes, Van Gaal, Mourinho, Ole.
Yeah. And there's been one consistent factor in that. Ed Woodward.
Yeah. Edward Woodward on the board.
He has been there for since 2014, and they have finished. Yeah. Other than one season when they finished second in 2018, they have consistently finished in worse positions than they should be.
The board don't get it. They have no idea, or they just don't have the ambition for it. I mean, it's something which I can go into great detail. I'm not going to, but it's frustrating.
I saw a quote from Louis van Gaal, which was like, none of the board at Manchester United get football.
No.
None of them get what football means.
They're just money men, aren't they?
Ed Woodward is a businessman.
Yeah, you give credit to Ed Woodward for what he is. Like, the amount of commercial revenue he generates United.
That's genius, isn't it?
Is unreal. Like, no one else gets anywhere close to it.
No.
But he's not a football man.
No.
Like, what he should do is he should just accept that he doesn't know football, hire a director of football, and honestly, like, you'd rise so quickly because you've got so much money to spend.
Yeah.
Just get someone that just knows the game, like have a good talent scout with that director of football, and have constant conversations. Like Manchester United, they are easily fixed. It's just they need the direction, they need the vision, and they just don't have that. They have a very big lack of vision in that squad.
Everything a manager who's coming to the club wants to do is being heavily scrutinised, and it's being heavily, I don't know about that, and it's just like you need to listen to him. For all we know, I mean, Ollie's coming out, and the one thing which does frustrate me about him is his press conferences and how he behaves in the press. Like, it's all ultra positive, it's ultra happy, it's ultra tranquil. There's not enough damnation about it. There's not enough, it's unacceptable. Yeah. And it is unacceptable. But again, a topic for another day, maybe.
Yeah. So yeah, that is today's weekly roundup of the Premier League.
Because over the sabbatical, we missed a lot of big Premier League results and everything, but obviously we're going to carry on with the regular upkeep.
We can quickly summarise those, what has gone on, like where everyone is in the table. Obviously, Liverpool are still reigning supreme. It seems like Manchester City and Leicester are still fighting it out for second place.
Yeah.
Manchester United and Chelsea are fighting out for fourth spot, along with Sheffield United, who are a point behind Manchester United and Chelsea. Tottenham are slowly making their way up under Mourinho. Arsenal are still dwindling in 10th. Newcastle are doing very, very well. They're 12th at the minute. It seems as if the gap is slowly pulling away from the relegation zone. Usually there's from where we left off, it was maybe 5 points.
Yeah.
But yeah, Villa are on 22 points, and the 10th spot are on 29. So slowly pulling away. So at the minute the team's getting relegated: Aston Villa, Bournemouth, and Norwich. Which I could probably put money on all three of those going down, I reckon.
It would take a lot to I think if any team are going to pull it out of the bag and flip it around, you'd in theory you'd want it to be Villa. You'd want it to be, because I feel like Villa in the Premier League is good. I feel like they're a good acquisition to have.
Yeah.
I feel Bournemouth have been stagnant for a while. I think Norwich were always going to go down.
Yeah, I think people were banking too much on Pookie coming in and scoring a lot of goals, but he has been the biggest 1 month wonder out of everyone.
No, he has.
Yeah, definitely.
So yeah, we move on to my favourite segment and everyone else's. It's the hype train, and we have two players on this week's episode. The first one I have got for you guys is quite an interesting one, actually. Miguel Almiron from Newcastle United.
I do have an opinion of him. I think the whole signing was weird.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I think it was weird. I mean, how often do you see Premier League caliber clubs poaching from the MLS? It doesn't happen, and it doesn't really happen for a reason.
Yeah, you'd say like his first year at Newcastle, he didn't score a goal. Like he was terrible. Having said that, like once he got a goal, he's now like scored. I think it's like 4 in like 8 games or something like that. So he's
from the left.
Yeah, like interesting as well. I think with like Newcastle's front three, if they get Lookman over the line,
yes,
that'd be a really good sort of
absolutely. Lookman from RB Leipzig. What signing that would be. So for those listening that haven't seen the Hype Train segment or listened to the Hype Train segment before, we have 5 different categories that these players can go into: poor, average, the prospect category, star, and then world class. Where are we thinking Miguel Almiron fits into?
You know what? If it wasn't for this run of form, he'd be going in poor.
Yeah,
because I still think he's going in average for me, but I don't even. There's still so many questions. He's not a Premier League player. I don't think he is.
He needs to get on the weights, doesn't he?
Yeah.
Badly.
Oh yeah, he's a skinny lad, isn't he? He is indeed. But like I reckon we're gonna. Personally, I'm gonna put him in average.
Average, yeah.
I
can put him in average.
Yeah.
Next one, I have also been recommended from our Instagram, Harry Kane.
A player which then there is quite a lot of debate around Kane, and especially at the moment we're debating about his England inclusion. There's a lot of people saying that they'd prefer to see him out of the England team, which I think I can understand why in some sense, but I also think it's crazy.
Yeah.
I mean, what a player, but like
he will be missed if he does miss.
Yeah.
The Euros, I think.
He's slowing down though, and Spurs fans really don't want to hear it. But you look at his underlying numbers; they keep decreasing because every time he gets injured, he comes back. Like it's like every time you see it, don't you? Like Harry Kane's out for 5 months.
Yeah,
comes back in 3, and it's really hampering him. Like he needs to. If I was him, I would literally just say, right, I'm injured for this Euros. I'm not going to play. I'm literally going to come back next season. If he did that, he might pick his form up again. Otherwise, he will end up like Rooney and Sanchez, where at 30 years old, worthless. Sort of thing.
Absolutely.
And I feel like another route for him to express maybe is like a bit like Rooney, is changing up the position. I mean, if Rooney wouldn't have dropped further down the pitch later in his career, he should have retired at 30. He managed to keep himself a little bit more longevity at United and a couple of other clubs as well. Obviously, just for a little bit of time by doing that.
Yeah, he's just signed for Derby.
Yeah.
I think he's picking up more of a central midfielder role at that point. So maybe Kane will drop back a lot.
I would love to see Kane play just behind the striker with Son up front.
Yeah.
I would love to see that, but then again though, like Tottenham fans, not Tottenham fans, but like Tottenham just don't seem to want to really see Son that much as a striker.
Yeah.
But
He is a very creative player.
I think Kane's distribution in his passing is obscene. For a striker, I think it's crazy. So I'd love to see Kane drop back a bit more and play someone like Son ahead of him who can just bang goals.
Yeah, I mean, he can strike from range as well, Kane can. So it's not like he can't shoot. He can. He can't. He's not one of them players that can get behind the defence. He has to have the ball on a plate, pretty much.
I think I'd put him in world class.
He is world class. Yeah, let's just say that now. Like until he drops off fully, like Alexis Sanchez did, I don't see anything like
Yeah,
he's world class. He's top 3, well, probably top 5 number 9s in the world.
Yeah, because you could argue that Alexis Sanchez was either a star player or world class before moving to Manchester United.
Oh, definitely. Yeah.
Like he was fantastic for Arsenal, and even at Barcelona, he was one of the best left wingers in the world. So, Kane, he's definitely world class.
100%.
So yeah, we're wrapping up this week's episode of the Hype Train, and so get your suggestions into Twitter at Pundits Average and at our Instagram, the Average Pundits. So, shall we go into the big topic?
Yeah.
So we are going to have a little chat about the January transfer window this year.
I mean, the January transfer window is weird, isn't it? I mean, you always have the hype of the summer. You're always like, oh yeah, transfer window season. Let's go. I mean, it's going to be good. I mean, you're always really really happy about it, but it never seems to live up to the hype. It never seems to live up to the hype. There's always a couple of bangers in there, a couple of weird signings, but it just never seems to live up to the full hype. I don't think.
No.
But really, I can't believe it isn't used as much as it should be. I mean, it should be utilised. I mean, this is your chance to look at where you are in the season and think, wow, where can I fix it, and do it, you know. But I guess it's definitely more complicated than that. But
it's difficult, isn't it? It's always difficult with like money, and then like if you're buying a player, you are weakening that team, and the chances of finding a replacement is so slim, isn't it?
Yeah.
So that's why you've always got like the extra prices. But I agree that like if you've got a problem, just fix it in. These days in the Premier League, they've got enough money to do it. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I think what we were going to do is just literally have a look at some of the Premier League teams, see who they've already signed, see who maybe they're kind of after. Some of the big signings and big rumours that are going through at the moment. A couple of discussion points. If you guys are alright, well, I wouldn't mind kicking off with United, as I always do.
Big rumour coming through. £40 million around abouts for Bruno Fernandes playing in Portugal for Sporting Lisbon.
I genuinely am baffled at why this hasn't happened. Why this didn't happen in the summer? Because and then all of a sudden you hear Tottenham have got him, and then Tottenham don't, but Tottenham have already got other options. Why United weren't looking at that at the summer seriously? Yeah. Or, I mean, maybe we were. Who knows? But the fact of the matter is he should already be at the club.
Yeah, absolutely. You know, you need reinforcements really badly. Whether that does come in the form of a creative midfielder, like a creative spark that you're missing with Paul Pogba being out as well.
Yeah.
But Bruno Fernandes needs to go to Manchester United. I think he needs that for closure. After he's been at Sporting Lisbon for too long.
Yeah.
And to prove his own in the Premier League, why not go to Manchester United and visit one of the most established clubs in the world.
Yeah. No, he should. I thought we get him into the mix, he can help us out a lot. The other thing cutting about with United as well is the fact that we need an attacker, don't we? We need an attacker.
Yeah.
So, but then again, though,
Marcus Rashford, like a substitute, someone better.
Yeah.
Here's a question for you, Joe. Do you think Martial's finished now? Because the thing is that I think at United,
that's a heartbreaking question, mate.
Mate, I love Martial more than anyone, but the thing is that he does not perform consistently.
Roy Keane the other day absolutely slandered him. He absolutely slandered him. He said he's not the quality that they need, and he should move on. And I had to take that in, and I have been watching a lot about him. I feel the worst thing with Martial, which happened, the constant changing in managers, Louis van Gaal leaving and then Mourinho coming in and everything, and different philosophies, it can ruin a player. And also he will always have missed out on the World Cup. And really, if he played for another nation, he would have been called up pretty much instantly. But because France was so heavily stacked with wingers that were performing better than him, obviously he missed out on that World Cup where his nation won.
Yeah.
And really, in his heart of hearts, he knows that he should have been there. He should have been there.
Genuinely, he should have. But obviously, this underperforming side. It's just heartbreaking to miss out on that.
Maybe he is finished, mate. Maybe he is.
He might be, yeah. Absolutely.
Well, just because you always think with Martial, you're like, oh, give it a year's time, he's going to be amazing.
Yeah.
Like when he come in when he was 19 years old, everyone was like, he might be a little bit raw now, but in a year's time, 2 years' time, he's going to be like elite world-class attacker.
Yeah.
But I don't think he's massively moved on from where he was when he was 19. And he's now, 24? 25?
Yeah, something like that. I think 25, I think.
Yeah, so you're getting to a point now where he's sort of losing his market sort of thing, where you can sell him on for bigger money.
Yeah. I feel like if we sold him, we'd probably recoup what we signed him for. I mean, it was around 50, so I think we probably would get around that back due to inflation and pricing now. But it is frustrating. I mean, the name which has been thrown around a little bit to United recently in terms of strikers to get in, I saw Edison Cavani. He's formally handed in his request. I was very confused. I thought Atletico Madrid was done and dusted. I thought he was ending up there.
Yeah.
I thought it was I heard a 3-year deal. I heard it was done, but I guess not. So, no. But Atletico Madrid have apparently inquired. I think Manchester United would be stupid not to inquire.
I've seen another name in the rumour mill as well. Lyon's Moussa Dembele.
Yeah, that's another big one, isn't it? Around 40 to 50 million for him.
Yeah, he's only 23. He's a good bench striker, just in case Martial or Rashford get injured. Like he can play on the wing because he's very fast.
Yeah.
But would that be a fix for Rashford being injured? I don't think so.
It wouldn't be at all, because then he starts picking up form, and then where's Rashford coming in? Then where's Martial coming in? You know what I mean? It needs to be a seasoned striker who knows what his role is and knows how to perform.
Martial or Rashford can go onto the right hand side, or whichever one, or right and left, and then Cavani in the middle. That could form to be one of the greatest front threes in the Premier League at the moment.
It genuinely could be
phenomenal.
On paper, it's all good, isn't it? I mean, it'll be interesting to keep. Obviously, we're going to keep up with United and all their transfer rumors and everything, but they're an interesting club.
Yeah.
Tottenham. I think that's another team right now.
Fernandes.
Yeah, Gedson Fernandes, two-year loan deal with an option to buy.
How much is the potential fee?
I think potential is you're looking at around 40.
That's pretty hefty.
It is pretty hefty, but then again, if he comes good 2 years later down the line,
that's true. I think that's what they should have done with Ndombele. I think he isn't proving as good as people thought he was going to be.
He's always injured, isn't he?
Yeah.
That's the point. He cannot stay fit.
And Lo Celso as well. I know you're a big fan of Lo Celso.
I love Lo Celso. Yeah, he is a quality player. Like, you watched him at Real Betis, and he was honestly like single-handedly carrying Betis. Like, he got Quique Saint-Etienne that job at Barcelona because they looked at that Betis season. They were like, wow, if he can do that with Betis, let's see what he can do at Barca. But yeah, I think it's just one of these things again. Like, you get them players who need time to adapt to the Premier League.
Yeah.
Because of the pace of it, the physicality, and just like getting used to playing through Christmas and stuff like that.
Yeah.
You know, so I think next season, if they do, I don't know if it was an obligation or an option.
It was an option.
So if they take the option, I think next year he'll be quality. Like, he's starting to show in recent games now. He's getting a little bit more settled.
Oh, actually, no. Oh, so that's my mistake. It is an obligation. It is an obligation. I think it's around like 50 million obligation.
Yeah.
Hell of a fee to pay if he's risking it, but like you said, maybe he needs time.
I think he does.
I mean, Tottenham have obviously got Christian Eriksen, who's pretty much he just doesn't want to be there.
No, I genuinely think he could be off to like an Inter Milan. I'm pretty sure that's where they're talking at the minute. Inter Milan.
That's where I've heard the most legs. But I mean, and then who comes in to replace him? Or do they have that already in Dele Alli? Is Dele Alli going to come in and be that cam?
I mean, Mourinho loves Dele Alli. We can see that from the first game in charge. Dele Alli comes in and scores 2 goals. Is that the next Christian Eriksen replacement? I don't know if Dele Alli's got there yet. Maybe a bit more development underneath, Jose, a bit more tutelage.
Yeah.
Ali could be the man, or they could go out and spend a lot of money if Eriksen does decide to leave.
Yeah.
Maybe it will be on a free, because Eriksen can now hold talks to leave in the summer.
Yeah.
With people, like, he's got 6 months left on his contract. He can effectively leave.
I think it'll be good for him and good for Tottenham. I think they need to part ways and move on a bit.
But do Tottenham try and sell him on? Like, do they list him for sale right now and try and get money for him, or like it would be such a shame to let him go for free?
It would be idiotic.
You've got to get rid of him now.
Yeah.
Because like this season, you can tell he's not interested. His numbers are poor. Performances have been poor. I think there's been one game when he played against Norwich where he was like the old Christian Eriksen, but other than that, he just can't be bothered to be there. No. So you may as well just try and get whatever money you can for him and just let him go.
You got 2 really big clubs as well. I mean, moving aside from Eriksen and Tottenham, you've got 2 really big clubs right now who I feel like their problems rely a lot of it in their defence, in Arsenal and Man City.
Absolutely.
And I mean, I don't think I've seen many things kicking about for either of those 2. I mean, the only real rumour I've seen about Arsenal having right now involves Man City is getting John Stones in on loan. I mean, I really don't know how to feel about that.
I think it's decent, because if that's how you want to play, there is no better person to play out from the back than John Stones. He is unreal at it.
But then his defensive qualities do really make up for the fact that he is good at distributing. Like, he is not good at defending whatsoever.
I feel like he would slot into that team and he would be just another banter defender. I think it would be a terrible decision.
I think the biggest flaw with Manchester City's defence is John Stones. And for them to offload John Stones for a year and see how good their defence does go would be... And it goes to Arsenal, causes them mayhem alongside David Luiz and Mustafi.
I think at this point, I'm like, is he better than Mustafi? Yes.
Yeah.
Is he better than Socrates? Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Is he better than David Luiz? David Luiz recently has been really good.
Yeah.
But he is also 33. Like, there is no longevity there for him. Like, he should, like, he will slow down.
Yeah.
Sort of thing. So I'm like, well, if we can get in a 25-year-old John Stones who can play the ball from out the back, that's like...
I think if you got like a sick fee for him, if you got a really good fee, and then signed him properly, like properly signed him, I think it could be okay. But
£25 million, if you could sign him for that, no way. Like it'd be a good signing.
Yeah,
we're not paying what City paid for him.
How much did they pay for him?
50.
Yeah.
Was it 50?
50, bang on.
I don't think I think they made a mistake with that. If they can make half their money back, I think they've got a good deal. But like you say, he is still 25.
Yeah,
he's still got some legs to him.
Room to grow in.
Exactly. So.
And the other one we were linked with was Jerome Boateng, which is...
Yes, I saw that rumour yesterday.
Again, what on earth is that?
I kind of like, I weigh it up again and I'm like, who would I rather have on the pitch? Mustafi or Jerome Boateng? And I'm like, well, I would rather have Jerome Boateng. Don't get me wrong. If we signed him on a permanent, I'd be fuming. Like,
you got a terrible player who's always fit in Mustafi, and signing Boateng, you would have a historically great player who's always injured.
He's since Messi turned him inside out, he's been finished.
Yeah,
he looks awful. Like, I mean, like, apparently Bayern are prepared to let him go for free to us. They don't want any money.
I mean, it might be worth the risk if if you do want him, you could just sign him to a 1 year.
I've literally just thought, I was like, get a 6-month loan with an option to buy.
Yeah,
just get him in. I mean, the only thing is, he does have massive wages.
Yeah,
he does.
Like,
he's already cut about in the Prem before. He was obviously at Man City once upon a time.
Yeah.
So I just think maybe it's probably we have to get someone, because our defense at this point is just terrible.
You do really need.
I was looking at Kazawa at left back.
Yes, from PSG.
Yeah, but he's not. 5 years ago I'd be like, yeah, that's a great signing.
Yeah.
But he's not what he is now. I think he's like 29.
I felt like the Arsenal board are just like, they've got the right ideas, but like you said, like 5 years too late.
They're looking in the wrong places. Like, they're not looking towards the youth. Like, there are some fantastic, like, young up and coming centre backs. Like, look towards Borussia Dortmund, Akanji. Yeah. He is fantastic. Like,
why don't Arsenal just splash the money and go for something like Koulibaly? Okay, that's another name that was linked with United and Arsenal alike. But I mean, United obviously splashed all that money on Maguire. I mean, I feel like Koulibaly was for the taking.
Yeah,
go get him.
Koulibaly should have been. I don't know. I don't understand.
I don't
understand why United went for Maguire over Koulibaly. Like, he's so good.
He's a great player. He's a great, absolutely great player.
Arsenal really like Upamecano from Leipzig.
That would be
good.
fantastic. That would be a great signing.
We went to them and they were like, right, well, we're top of the Bundesliga. We're like going for a title charge. We're not prepared to sell him unless you give us 90 mil. And we're like, well, you look at current sort of things. He's probably worth that, considering he's 20.
He probably is.
Like,
it's a hell of a lot of money.
He's your next centre back for 12 years. Like, he'll just play.
Yeah.
But yeah, Arsenal, because they're Arsenal, aren't prepared to do that. So we're literally like, yeah, we'll try and get a quick fix with Boateng or something like that.
Yeah.
And it'll be terrible. But
you got obviously league leaders Liverpool in a very comfortable position with their players. They've got some amazing talent there.
Yeah.
Is there anything really which comes in to help Liverpool?
If anything, like, you look at our midfield and you see some, you see workhorses. You see people that run around a pitch for 90 minutes and give their everything. Jordan Henderson runs around, gives his everything. Keita gives his everything. But what we're lacking severely is someone that can create.
Yeah.
Like, unless, I mean, Firmino is fantastic. His passing's great. His dribbling's great. but I've seen that we've been linked and having talks with Leverkusen's Kai Havertz. And
that would be a phenomenal signing.
I mean, bringing him in for 70, 80 million, I'd be happy with that. Like, he's 22 years of age, coming in. He's brilliant. He's fantastic. And I think I'd take one creative midfielder with 2 workhorse centre midfielders.
Yeah.
To bolster our title challenge for next year as well. Like, it's basic knowledge. Like, we I don't like to say this, but we've won the league already.
Yeah, you have.
Like,
I then again though, like, if Liverpool do get in someone like Havertz, then if I was a Liverpool fan, I'd want to see my workhorses, my powerhouse players of Keita and Fabinho with Havertz as your cam.
Yeah, absolutely.
Where's Henderson in this? Because then you're never going to not play your front three.
I feel like
so then Henderson goes, doesn't he? But then obviously to the Liverpool loyalists, it can never happen, could it? It can never happen.
I think, like, you know what I was saying earlier with Vincent Kompany and David Silva in the Manchester City locker room, like, they're the big leaders. I think Jordan Henderson just needs to start taking his coaching badges.
Yeah,
he needs to start taking his coaching badges.
How old is he? Is he in his 30s? He's 28. So he's not even old, is he?
No, but
he's still got like 4 more years of like peak Premier League in him.
He's at a level where I don't think he's getting any better. But
no, this is who he is.
But
if he didn't have the players around him, I'm sorry, he's average Premier League.
Exactly. But the team around him makes him phenomenal. He does work his ass off.
Yeah, he does.
Do you reckon that Havertz would not be like a rotation with the front three? Because you had that creative player in Coutinho, didn't you?
Yeah.
And it just didn't work.
That is
very true. When you sold
true.
Coutinho, it allowed you. I mean, to be fair, at the time you didn't have Van Dijk or Alisson.
Yeah.
So maybe with
it
them
might
two
work.
now, it might work now that you've got like a better base, but
unless we, like, maybe Firmino drops back into a cam position, and then we buy a striker, or maybe we play Divock Origi.
Firmino as a cam is something which could very easily happen, but then I after you do that, I think he just turns into he'll just fade.
The only thing I can think of is a creative midfielder. I do not think that Jurgen Klopp needs that at the minute.
Yeah,
like, we have a system that works. We haven't lost a game all season. Like, we were close to with Manchester United, but that was Manchester United always bring it to us at Old Trafford.
Yeah,
like, we have a system in place, and I don't see that going anytime soon. We have players that run. Like, our wing backs,
yeah,
especially Robertson, he runs so much in a game. Like, you should see, like, his heat map is all up the left hand side, maybe inside a bit.
What about your Leicesters and your Wolves then? The next tier down, still upper class, but the next tier down. Because I mean, both teams, I've seen a lot of rumours of players rumoured to leave. James Maddison heavily touted with United, but I don't think there's any legs in that. I think that's just obvious interest. If
you look towards Leicester, you look at them and see very, like, them defensively have been very good this season, but I think they're a bit off as well. Like, since losing Maguire, that Burnley game that they just had could have been completely different.
I feel like a lot of the time it's almost looked like Maguire was never there in the first place for them. I feel like a lot of the time they've looked good, but then there's been those odd games where it's like, oh, maybe they do miss him. Maybe he is needed.
They're still a little rocky and a bit shaky.
So I feel like Leicester's biggest risk, I feel, is keeping their players.
Yeah,
because they have like 9 superstars in that team.
I feel
the fullback's incredible. Kasper Schmeichel, a great keeper.
They need to start building for the future. Like, they have Damari Gray. They have Yuri Tillemans as well. Like, they don't really have a lot of young players. Like, Jamie Vardy's hitting 30 soon.
I think this is it, isn't it? Like, every season, I've always said, like, they're gonna have to replace Vardy. And now for some reason he now just bangs his best.
Yeah.
But you've still got to look to replace him.
Exactly.
Leicester's their midfield three, they're all like under the age of 23, so that's like solid for the next 10 years if you can keep hold of them. But yeah, it is in the attacking areas where, like, Vardy's 31 now, 32 maybe. Then you've got, like, they signed Perez, who's 26.
Perez,
not ideal signing and stuff like that. So
it was a strange one, wasn't it? We said at the time it was a weird signing, but I mean, I think it's
And
kind of come good.
he scored a hat trick against Norwich.
Yeah. He's putting
He scores some. He scores quite a few goals now. But where else do they look to improve now? Like they've got Harvey Barnes in. They got Pratt. I think that they do actually have to look towards the future. Like Jamie Vardy does need to have a substitute to him. Like obviously they've got Perez, but he tends to more come on and play as a right winger.
They'd be smart to sign the next wonder kid striker or to promote it, whatever. But I think Leicester's biggest problem is keeping their players. And I think the same situation at Wolves. Wolves have got superstars in that team, which could. There are so many players they've got which would directly improve some of the top six.
Absolutely.
It would be just like picking a match. Like, yep, I want you, and they would do a job.
Players who want to play, like they're good enough to play in the Champions League as well, isn't it? So
100%.
I think that you went to Adama Traore and said, "Look, I can give you Champions League football." I think he'd leave Wolves in a heartbeat.
Adama, Jimenez, Neves. These are people who really should be playing in an upper tier.
Are these players invested in the project that Nuno has got in place? Like, if they are very serious, who knows what they could do next? Like, what signing? Like, they could sign a world class centre back with this super agent. Like
they tried with Vallejo, didn't they?
Yeah.
Real Madrid's youngster tried getting him with an option, but
is he on loan, isn't he?
Yeah, they terminated it.
Oh, have they terminated his loan now?
Yeah. He had a shocking time with it.
Wow.
He's not like
wasn't ideal.
He's not a Premier League centre back. He's a
No. But I think they're a world class centre back and maybe a left back because Johnny's getting on a bit.
Yeah, he is.
Maybe they do start playing Vinagre, who's a very young, fast, promising player. Get more minutes with him, and he's very young.
Yeah,
I think Villa are an interesting team to talk about as well. Like I'm just trying to think of the most like concrete teams we can discuss. And Villa, what saves them now? What saves them? 100 million down the pan, nothing really to show for it. What saves them?
Well, this is it. They've signed. Like I thought they were going to look for someone like they've signed a guy from what's he called, Samatta from Genk.
Yes,
and he's got to bang. If he doesn't bang, they're relegated. It's simple as.
He's a striker, is he?
Yeah, he's a striker. Yeah. He got 43 goals in 98 appearances in the Belgian First Division for Genk.
They love that Belgian league.
Yeah, but it's really hard to gauge how good a player is in the Belgian league.
Yeah.
Because you look at all of the ones that have come across, like recently for like Villa and then Brighton.
Yeah.
None of them have performed.
That's true.
But then obviously like players like Kevin De Bruyne and Lukaku, they come from that league.
I mean, Reina was a good little acquisition. I feel like he's a nice experienced keeper to have.
I still think he's class.
He's a good keeper.
Think he's really good. He was good until his place was taken by Gigi Donnarumma at AC Milan.
Yeah.
I think there's a lot of room for him to carry on as a goalkeeper at Villa. Maybe even if it just is just for this season until Heaton comes back into the fold. But I think maybe Heaton might have trouble coming back into the side if Reina keeps performing. So
it'll be interesting to see where it goes. But I mean, Villa, I can't see them spending any money.
No,
I don't think they will. They've spent too much already.
Maybe they can bring in someone on a free.
I mean, Danny Drinkwater as well. Obviously, they've got To be fair, like if on a free, Wes would be good.
Just because Wesley is injured.
Yeah.
And then also you've got Danny Drinkwater they brought in as well, and that's a player where again we were discussing it, a bit of a weird one, but. If it works, it works.
He's finished.
Yeah,
he literally is. He's finished.
He's had 2 assists to Riyad Mahrez, and he doesn't even play with them anymore.
Like he couldn't even get in the squads at Burnley. Like, how bad have you got to be? Like,
honestly,
how bad you got to be that Ashley Westwood is keeping you out of the squad? Like
the Westwoods.
Like Danny Drinkwater's past it. He needs to like Henderson. Get your coaching badges, lad. You ain't getting in the team anytime soon.
And then I feel like one more club which really stands quite prominent to me. You've obviously got your Watfords and your Southamptons, like kind of like scrappy little signings, here and there. But I feel like one more club I think would be a good one to discuss. I think would be Everton.
Yeah.
They've just and frankly because they've just got Ancelotti in, so I feel like they have got the potential to get some of that Ancelotti pulling power. Oh, come to Everton! It's awesome here. They've got Ancelotti as a manager.
Yeah, I don't believe that this transfer window is going to be Everton's, but the summer transfer window, Ancelotti is going to
He's
make
gonna have
sure
a great time.
He needs all the money he can. He needs all the investment, the talent scouts, everything.
I'd just love to see it. Like, because James Rodriguez, Real Madrid have said he's available to loan. Can you imagine Carlo gets on the phone, rings up Rodriguez, being like, have a 6-month stint at Everton and just watch him absolutely bang in the Premier League. Like,
it would be class. Like Rodrigo, Rodriguez, getting the band back together. That is exactly the kind of thing which could happen though. I mean,
I think they need that sort of like elite signing to say that, like, because all they do, they basically sign like the top 6 players who the top 6 have had a look at and been like, he's not really the level. And then Everton go, they
come pick up the scraps and then get a little bit out of them, and then they're done.
Is it like 3 or 4 clubs had looked, like Chelsea, United, and Arsenal all looked at Richarlison before deciding against him.
Yeah,
and then Everton went and took him.
I was going to say, like, it was a strange like little thing with Richarlison. I mean, he's still I think he can still come good, but I think we're in, like Reece said, I think we're in for a fun summer under Ancelotti.
Oh, absolutely. We're going to have so much to talk about when we return in the summer. So
it's going to be awesome.
I really can't wait.
Getting the Real Madrid rejects back together.
Yeah, absolutely. I think, there are a few games tonight on the Wednesday. On the Wednesday. We can predict them if you want.
Or no, let's go for it.
There are 3 games on the Wednesday. One being Leicester City versus West Ham United.
That's
going to be a Leicester sweep, isn't it?
Yeah, they've not been in good form recently, but West Ham just are terrible at the moment. So
it's just terrible. 3-1 Leicester. I'm going to put on that.
Yeah.
I'm going to go 2-0 to Leicester.
Can see a little West Ham consolation, but nothing more.
Tottenham Hotspur and Norwich City.
I mean, after that 1-0 scrape from Norwich, I mean, could they do the unthinkable? Sit Tottenham down.
It's at Spurs.
That's just
No, they'll win. They'll win Spurs.
4-0 Spurs.
They can't be that bad.
Surely not. 4-0 Spurs. I'm going to say
4-0.
Yeah, I'm going to say 4. I think they got it in them.
I reckon 1-0 Spurs. Just scrape.
It's
a Mourinho scrape, innit?
I think it'll be a 1-0 like Eric Lamela tapping or something.
Yeah, or Eric Lamela Rabona type thing.
4-0, 4 banging goals from Wanyama. That's what you love to see.
The final game from tonight's fixtures: Manchester United against Burnley.
I'll let you boys go first for this one. I mean, I've got to gather my thoughts.
Is it at Burnley?
It's at Old Trafford.
Well, I suppose we've got that many injuries, but I'm kind of thinking it's going to be like a 0-0 stalemate, where it's just really boring.
It's horrible, isn't it? I think it's going to end up being like a 1-0 win. I think I can see it like Martial, Daniel James getting a goal,
holding on to a victory.
Yeah.
I think Burnley might strike first, and then come back for Manchester United. So I'm going to say 2-1. So what was yours, Joe?
Yeah, 1-0.
1-0.
1-0 United.
And then yours was
0-0.
0-0. Right then. The weekend's fixtures are the FA Cup, which we don't really care about. So we're Premier League based. We don't care about Oxford United.
We are indeed.
So hopefully you guys have enjoyed this week's podcast. It's been great to be back, hasn't it?
Yeah, it's been good.
So thank you, Joe, as always for being by my side, and Al, thank you so much for being on the show. We always love having you on.
I enjoy it. It's been brilliant.
Yeah, flex the big dogs.
The limbs.
If you want to get in contact with us, we are on social media: Twitter at Pundits Average, on Instagram at Average Pundits, and our business email, theaveragepundits@outlook.com. Thank you guys for listening, and don't forget to subscribe, follow us on social media, and we will speak to you next time.